Good morning. My name is Dave Murray. I want to show you a very interactive scenario-based software that I found. Built for educators, it's designed on the premise that we learn best by doing. So enough of me talking. Let's take a look at a short training session that took me only a few hours to put together. I have absolutely no programming skills, but still was able to put this together very quickly.
So the software I want to demonstrate from you today is created by a company called Muzzy Lane. And Muzzy Lane created this software called Author, which is an educational software used to create things for students. And again, you can go here and you can click on their little promotional video, but what I want to do is I want to take you in and show you what I built in just a couple of hours. This is my first screen, and you can see I did a bunch of different tests to try things out, but I'm going to go into this one here and we'll preview what I've created. The first scene you see, or the first interaction, is a picture here. I could have created it with a video or something else. Some features I like is when I scroll over the picture, what you'll see is it'll tell me what it is. So I've added in there some 508 compliance stuff, young professional working at a desk. You see I've added words, but I could have added music or video or anything like I mentioned. Now let's go ahead and begin this scenario. I've created it where the student has to pick an emoticon and introduce themselves. So I'll type my name in and pick that emoticon. So what you heard there was some music that I tied in behind this when it comes in. And I just added some inspirational music while the student reads this dialogue. Alternatively, I could have had lower music and I could have had the dialogue had audio, or I could have gotten rid of the music and had just the dialogue with audio, or I could have had a video playing at the same time this was all happening.
Good morning. Thanks for coming in. As I noted on your recent performance review, you've been doing really well, and I'm confident you are.
So what you heard there was the audio that I had tied to the words. Again, to show you a feature that you can have it come up on the screen as well as have someone speaking so they can hear it. And you could lose the words and just have the two avatars talking to each other. Again, I could have had a video here. I could have had something else. What I want to show you is that I've created a little game, and I'll just click through these quickly here.
Just come up. You probably remember Jane from.
So now I've created this game, and again, it's a simple little game where the student's expected to look at the picture, look at the name of the person or the position, and then match it down here to who does this. So I just picked certifies funding and signs the PR, right? If they pick on the financial manager, which is the right answer, and they click submit, you'll see I've set it up where they can get some scoring and they get some points. Now let's continue and do it again. The eyes and ears of the contracting officer. Some of you may recognize that as the core, but I want to pick the program manager, and I'll hit submit. Then it's going to show I've lost some points there. So it's a scenario game that you can set up where they can earn points as they go through this if you're using it for scoring or testing, or you could just use it as a knowledge check as you go through. So that's the feature I want to show you there. The other feature I've built into this is I've got this button up here called Additional Materials. And what I've done is I've created just 3 tabs where I put Program Office Players. And I can set it up where they can click on this person here, who is the program manager, you can see from the game we just played. And you can click on that, and it could bring up the program manager's bio. You could click on that, and it could take you to a scenario where you dialogue with the program manager. So there's a lot of features that you can use. Go to References. I created a reference tab where I just created a FAR, and I can put in a hyperlink to the FAR here. And then finally, the last one I quickly built was this Ethics tab, where the vision here is to take students through different ethical scenarios, where when they click on this, they'll then go to that scenario and they'll have to discover if someone gets a gift, is it a bribe or is it an acceptable gift? So you can see the vision here is to get them role-playing and game-playing to learn the knowledge through that. And then I can just go back here and return to the activity, and I'm back to where I was, and the student can just continue through the course. Let me end this short video just by closing out what the students see and show you what you'll see as an instructor if you use this software. You've got all these tabs to the right where you can edit your work, you can review or preview the work. When you're finally done, you can publish it, duplicate it, etc. So I'm going to go in here and show you what happens when you edit it. Author is built to create kind of a timeline that students follow through this course. And you can create the timeline or add things to the timeline by these buttons at the top where I could add text, add an image. I could add a condition where they could go one way or another, add a challenge, add some sort of scoring function, and go through that. And you'll see down here the thing I quickly created. I'll click on this. And it's set up with radio buttons and very self-explanatory, where you can pull in the pictures you want, you can have feedback or not, you can create scoring if you want to, you can put that 508 compliant stuff in there if you want them to see that it's a picture of a core. So a lot of functionality here. I could have added video, I could have added some focus, a whole bunch of different things. You'll see I've just created 3 characters. And the last thing I'll show you before we close this out is it gives you this navigator tool to show you how you've created it at a high level. And then you'll see in here I've created a scenario where they can go one of 2 ways. So depending on what the student answers when they get here, they can be done, or they may have to go through and review something again. Perhaps maybe they've answered a question wrong, so now they have to go back and review the material, so they can't finish until they've gotten all of that correct. So a lot of functionality. I've only shown you a tidbit of what this program can do. I hope you take the time to go off to Muzzy Lane, and if you think it's interesting, play with it and see if it might be useful for a class that you might be doing CurrDev for. Thanks very much.